Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is the best performing asset class over the past decade, and it's highly likely that it will continue to be the best performing asset class over the next 10 years. Crypto was able to take me from working a dead-end job to having complete financial, time, and location freedom in just a span of a few short years, something that is practically impossible with every other asset class. I want the same for you. If you are a beginner to the world of Bitcoin or crypto, that is perfectly okay. The world of crypto can seem extremely complex and risky, but it doesn't need to be. This video will be a no BS beginner guide to crypto and crypto investing. I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know in the world of cryptocurrency, also you can begin reaping the benefits of the best performing asset class on earth. To do so, I'll be investing $5,000 of my own money into Bitcoin so you can see in real time how it works and how to do it. Also, make sure to stick around to the end of the video where I'll show you how you can earn $200 in cryptocurrency for completely free without having to pay or do anything special just by watching to the end of the video. First off, before we dive into how to invest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, it's important to understand in a general sense what Bitcoin and crypto actually is. The easiest way to understand it is by seeing that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is just the evolution and next step of money. Over time, everything evolves to become more efficient, faster, and superior. For example, we saw telephones evolve into smartphones. We saw physical maps evolve into Google Maps, physical letters evolve into instant messaging and email. Over time, as technology evolves, everything becomes more digital. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is just the digital form and next evolution of money. Bitcoin and crypto allows people to make transactions with each other without the need of banks or any central authority. Essentially, it cuts out all the middlemen. Although you may not know it, every time you make a payment or a transaction, that transaction goes through multiple middlemen and payment processors, all who take a small percentage of your payment. Every step of the way, financial institutions and banks are trying to take a small percentage of your transaction. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency gets rid of all of this. Overall, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency makes your payments and transactions faster, cheaper, and more secure. The other benefit of Bitcoin and crypto is that generally they are decentralized and transparent. This means anyone can verify transactions and the network is extremely secure. It's not under control of any one entity or any one person. Now, the way Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies actually work can seem complex and difficult to understand. The way they actually work is through a network of computers and the use of cryptography. Computers on the network, which are referred to as miners, are what actually record and secure transactions. Okay, pause. I can already see your eyes glazing over through the screen. Here's the honest truth about crypto that no crypto influencer will actually tell you. You don't need to understand cryptography, how cryptocurrencies actually work, or any of the complex, intricate details about them to actually reap the benefits of the space. For example, I would not actually be able to tell you how this iPhone works. If you ask me in intricate detail how all the tiny details and moving parts come together to give you the product that you see before you, I wouldn't actually be able to tell you. The honest truth is actually very complex and difficult to understand. However, this does not mean that I cannot benefit from being able to use the iPhone or by investing in Apple stock. Just because I can't explain in intricate detail how it works doesn't mean I can't benefit from the space. And the exact same thing applies to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. You don't need to understand all the intricate workings and complex details to be able to benefit from the space. As long as you can understand in a general sense of why the iPhone is a great product and Apple is a great company, you can benefit from both of them. The exact same thing applies to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. You don't need to understand in intricate detail how cryptography works or how cryptocurrency networks work. As long as you understand in a general sense, it allows you to benefit from the entire space. With that said, here are the three most important things that you should understand about Bitcoin and crypto. The first and most important thing to understand about Bitcoin and most other cryptocurrencies is that they have a limited supply. This is the complete opposite to other traditional currencies like the US dollar. There is no limit to how many dollars can be created or printed by governments. And if governments love doing one thing, it's printing new money. This means over time, dollars are worth less and less money as governments continue to increase the supply as they just continue to print them. However, Bitcoin and most other cryptocurrencies have a limited supply. This means as more and more people join the network, the price of Bitcoin and crypto goes upwards. As demand increases but supply has to stay the same, prices have to go upwards. This is just economics 101. For Bitcoin, the supply is capped at 21 million coins. This means there will never ever be more than 21 million Bitcoin in existence. Another important thing to know is that new Bitcoin coming onto the market is cut in half every 4 years. This is called the Bitcoin halving. Right now, the Bitcoin supply increases at around 1.7% per year. However, every 4 years, this number is cut in half, and then 4 years after that is cut in half again. Eventually, the supply won't be inflating at all as it's continually cut down. The Bitcoin halving is pretty important to understand. It's why every 4 years in the Bitcoin and crypto space, we see these huge bull runs and prices increase exponentially. These big bull runs always coincide with the Bitcoin halving. As supply is cut in half, prices have to go upwards to meet the new supply coming onto the market. The second most important thing to understand about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is that they are decentralized and transparent. This means that no bank, no government, or no single person has control over them or over the network. Instead, they are operated across a global network of computers. Decentralization. This setup allows for full transparency and security. It means anyone can check the network to verify transactions and you can be secure in your money. This again is the complete opposite to traditional currencies like the US dollar, where one entity, in this case the US government, has complete control over the money. They can control, manipulate, and increase the supply of money in any way that they see fit and for their own benefit. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, by being decentralized and transparent, gives you back full control over your financial and monetary energy. The third and final most important thing to understand about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is to see them as just the natural evolution and progression of money. Over time, as humanity progresses, everything becomes more digitalized. Modern currencies and monetary systems were not thoughtfully planned out or built with the digital world in mind. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, on the other hand, were. They are the fix to a deeply flawed monetary system. They were very thoughtfully constructed to fix many of the problems that we see with traditional currencies and monetary systems. Think of them as just the natural evolution of money. Now here's another honest truth that crypto influencers won't tell you. 99% of people in the crypto space aren't in it for the technology, they're in it for one reason, and that is to make money. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency has been the best performing asset class of the past decade. That is undeniable, it's just a fact. Here's a chart showing Bitcoin compared to other assets such as stocks, real estate, and gold over the last few years. As you can see, Bitcoin blows away every other investment. If you go even further back in time, Bitcoin's performance is even better. Now, there is also a very high probability that it will continue to outperform every other asset class over the next decade. Let's break down why. Bitcoin is a very unique asset class because not only is it a risk-on asset, it's also a risk-off asset. By being both, it is very rare that an investment is both a risk-on and a risk-off asset. This makes Bitcoin very unique and very valuable. First off, Bitcoin is a risk-off asset because it protects your wealth. It protects your wealth against inflation, the government printing more money, and making your savings worth less over time. It's a protection against the banks failing, and it's protection against political uncertainty. So, Bitcoin is a risk-off asset. A good way to visualize this is that when the banks began to fail and collapse in the regional banking crisis in the United States in 2023, the price of Bitcoin rocketed up. Investors thought their money wasn't safe in banks, so they put it into Bitcoin. However, Bitcoin is also a risk-on asset. Investing in Bitcoin is making a bet on the future. It's making a bet that the world is going to become more digital. It's a bet that technology is going to continue. The metaverse is going to be built out by Apple and Meta. It's a bet that we're going to have a more digital world over time. Now, if you combine the two, Bitcoin being a risk-off asset and Bitcoin being a risk-on asset, you can see why it's been the best performing asset over the past 10 years. It protects your wealth and safeguards your future whilst also being a bet on technology, innovation, and that the world is going to become more digital. Now, Bitcoin and crypto is also likely going to be the best performing asset over the next 10 years. I think the best way to show you why it's highly probable that it's going to be the best performing asset class over the next decade is to show you visually with some charts. Let's start off by comparing stocks to the chart of Bitcoin. This chart is the S&P 500, however, instead of comparing it against dollars, it is comparing it against the price of Bitcoin. As you can see, when we change the denominator we use to look at the price of an asset, instead of it going up and to the right, when compared against the price of Bitcoin, it's going straight down over time. It's an interesting way to view the world. Now, with all of these charts that I'm going to show you, ask yourself a question. Do you see a trend in these charts? If you extrapolate them out over the next 10 years, where is the trend heading? Now, the second chart, let's take a look at the thing that everyone loves to buy, real estate. Surely property stands up against Bitcoin. But again, here we have the median house price compared against the price of Bitcoin instead of being priced in dollars. As you can see again, instead of going straight up, it's going straight down. Where do you think this trend is going to go over the next 10 years? And this isn't just the case in the US, it's every single country. For example, if you look at where I'm from, Australia, we see the exact same thing. Here, we have the Australian stock market against the price of Bitcoin, and as you can see, it's straight down. And finally, the investment everyone in Australia is obsessed over, real estate. Australia is notorious for having the worst housing market in the world. However, even the average Australian house price cannot keep up with the growth of Bitcoin. So ask yourself, over the next 10 years, where do you think this trend is going and what do you think these charts are going to look like? If you think the trends are going to continue, like I do, then investing in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is probably a good choice. Although the price of Bitcoin can seem erratic and very volatile, if you zoom out over time, the trend is actually very clear. Now, there's two final charts I want to show you that really drive this point home. Bitcoin and crypto benefit the most and prices increase the most when more money is printed and more liquidity is injected into economies. There is a very high likelihood that governments all around the world are just going to continue to print money and inject more liquidity into economies, which means Bitcoin and crypto is going to benefit the most with the most price increases. And here is why. This is a chart of the total debt the US has. As you can see, it only goes up and up over time and is actually increasing in pace. The US is now over $34 trillion in debt, and this is only going to get worse. Why will it get worse? Because the government has to pay interest on this debt, which means they have to print more money to afford the interest, which creates more debt. This is a debt spiral, and it's highly probable it's only going to get worse and worse in the future. This means more and more money printing, which means Bitcoin and crypto prices will keep going up. A good way to visualize this is by looking at global liquidity, essentially how much money is being printed and put into the economy against the price of Bitcoin. As you can see, the price of Bitcoin essentially perfectly tracks the amount of money that is being printed globally or global liquidity. If you think that debt is only going to get worse and governments are only going to print more money, like I do, then you also think that Bitcoin and crypto is going to continue going up. Now, honestly, this is all just scratching the tip of the iceberg. I could go on for hours and hours as to why Bitcoin and cryptocurrency are likely to outperform over the next 10 years. But all of these charts cover the general trends and concepts as to why they likely will. If you want to dive a bit deeper into Bitcoin and crypto and become a better crypto investor over the years, I'll quickly plug my daily 5-minute crypto newsletter, The Crypto Nutshell. It's a free 5-minute email daily newsletter on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and it's written by me and a team of on-chain analysts. We write up the latest breaking news, any expert predictions, and the latest on-chain analysis, all in a 5-minute read so you can become a better crypto investor. If you want to become a better crypto investor, join over 50,000 others by clicking the third link in the description and typing in your email, and I'll see you in your inbox every single morning. Okay, let's jump into some more interesting stuff and get to the question that everyone wants to know. What should you actually invest into in the crypto space? There are literally thousands of different tokens and cryptocurrencies, so which one should you actually invest in? Now, the answer is going to be different for literally every single person. But if you're a beginner to the space, let me give you some advice that I wish I got when I first started. Invest 70 to 90% of your total crypto portfolio into top crypto assets. So this means Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Then take the other 10 to 30% of your portfolio and invest into whatever tokens you think are interesting or have potential to increase in the future. Now, the exact percentages and if you should do 70 to 90% and then invest 10 to 30% in smaller altcoins is always going to differ between person to person. It depends on your risk tolerance, your age, and your overall life situation. For example, let's say you're on the older side, perhaps you're retired. In this case, you'll want a pretty safe portfolio, which means putting 90% of your portfolio into Bitcoin. This means you'll be able to reap from the benefits of the space while keeping your risk profile extremely low. On the other hand, if you're like me and you're younger and you have good cash flows, you'll be able to afford to have a more diverse portfolio. Perhaps you spread 70% of your portfolio out through Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana and take the other 30% and put it into altcoins that you think have potential. You're going to be taking on more risk, but hopefully you'll be getting higher returns to make up for it. If you want to keep your portfolio even more simple, just keep it simple and stick to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Why? Both Bitcoin and Ethereum for the longest time have been the number one and number two asset, and they likely will be in the future. The rest of the crypto space is very speculative. The large majority of them are not going to go up at the same pace as Bitcoin and Ethereum, and buying them is a lot closer to gambling than it is investing. The entire cryptocurrency space is extremely speculative and volatile. There's no need to add more risk on top by buying a whole bunch of small tokens. Of course, over time, some tokens are going to be massive winners and outperform Bitcoin and Ethereum, but the likelihood of choosing these specific tokens is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. In my experience, to get the most out of crypto, you're going to want to keep the large majority of your portfolio between 70 and 90% in Bitcoin and Ethereum, then use the rest of your portfolio to speculate or gamble on projects you think will win. And hey, maybe you'll get lucky and find a winner. However, there's also a good chance that the 10 to 30% of your portfolio that you dedicate to altcoins in your portfolio will either underperform or even go to zero. But that's my advice. Now, let's get back to that $200 worth of crypto that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Just below this video in the description, you'll see the first link. It will also be appearing on your screen right now as a QR code. If you're on the computer, hit that first link in the description, or if you have your phone handy, you can scan the QR code and it will take you to Coinbase's website. Coinbase is the exchange that we will be using to purchase our cryptocurrency. There are literally hundreds of exchanges and websites that you can use to purchase Bitcoin or crypto. However, my recommendation if you are in the US or outside the US is Coinbase. It is the first ever cryptocurrency exchange that I ever used to purchase my first crypto, and it's also publicly listed on the US stock market. This means it's an extremely safe and regulated way to purchase your Bitcoin and crypto. It's also super user-friendly, so that's why it's my recommendation. Coinbase has not sponsored or paid me to say this. I just genuinely think it's the best way for beginners to purchase their crypto. Now, Coinbase has recently introduced a fantastic offer if you're new to the crypto space, and I haven't seen an offer this good over the last 7 years I've been in crypto. If you sign up using the first link in the description or scanning the QR code before, you can win up to $200 in free crypto by spinning a promotional wheel on their website. Now, not everyone is going to win the top prize of $200 because it is a spin the wheel prize, but everyone is going to win something. And getting at least something for nothing is always a win. So now, once you've clicked on the first link or scanned the QR code, you'll see this landing page. All you have to do is enter your email, put in all your details, and you'll eventually create your account. Now, to spin the wheel and win up to $200 in free crypto, here are the steps that you need to follow. First off, you're going to want to make your Coinbase account, which is easy enough. Just input your email and input your details. Second off, you have to purchase at least some cryptocurrency, which I'll show you how to do in a second. And third and finally, you'll get to spin the promotional wheel where you can win anywhere up to $200 in free crypto. Coinbase is a great platform. They're super regulated and super secure, and it's the platform that I personally used to purchase my first crypto on 7 years ago. They always have a bunch of promos and rewards, and they also have great resources for learning the space, so it's perfect if you're a beginner. Now, let's get to actually purchasing your crypto. So, to demonstrate, I'm going to be using my computer and I'll be using Google Chrome. However, if you're using your phone or any other device, the steps are going to be pretty much identical. Now, I'm using my computer. I've logged into my Coinbase account. I created my new account, and when you're in here, you'll get greeted by this home screen. You'll see up the top here, there's 5 steps that you'll have to complete before you can actually purchase your crypto. However, they're super straightforward. Step 1 is creating your account, then you'll have to verify your info, and then you'll have to add a payment method. Adding a payment method is just going to be connecting your bank account or making a bank transfer into your Coinbase bank account so you'll actually be able to spend your money. Now, I've already done that. I've transferred $5,000 across from my bank account, and now it's sitting in my Coinbase account. Depending on which method you use, it might take some time. For me, it took 2 to 3 days because banks are extremely slow. That's why we're here to purchase some crypto. But once you've completed all of these steps and you've transferred money into your account, you'll be ready to purchase your crypto. So this is the home screen. You can see on the left-hand side here, you can go across to see your assets, you can trade crypto here, you can earn rewards on your crypto over here, which is quite a cool tab. As you can see, you can earn interest on your different crypto or US dollar holdings. So you can earn up to 9.27% interest per year on ETH, SOL, USDC. This is a little bit more intermediate, but it's cool to see eventually. So these are different cryptocurrencies, and you can see down here, if you stake them, what type of interest per year you can earn. And on just US dollars, US dollar stable coins, you can earn 5.10%. Across here on the left, there's also different learning tools that Coinbase offers, so you can get a bit more comfortable with the space. Now, for today, we're just going to keep it super simple. We're just going to purchase our crypto. So what you're going to want to do is come across here to the trade tab. Here you can see all the different cryptos that you can purchase and buy. So we have the classic Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, Solana. If you don't see the crypto here that you want to purchase, all you want to do is type up here. Let's say we want to purchase a meme coin, and let's say we want to purchase Doge. Type it in here, and then we can come across and buy. Today, we're going to stick to the basics. We're going to purchase Bitcoin. So we come across here to trade, click onto Bitcoin, and now we're ready. Eventually, once you get a bit more comfortable with the space, there are different ways to purchase this. However, this is the most simple. So as you can see, I've loaded up my wallet with 5,000 AUD. I'm from Australia, so I loaded on Australian dollars onto it. Wherever you're from, you'll probably see US dollars, or whichever country you're from, you've loaded that onto your account. But once it's available, we're ready to purchase. So we can see across here the different type of purchases we can do. A cool feature that Coinbase has is that you can set up dollar cost average and repeat buys. So if we wanted to only purchase $50 per day, we can set up to do daily purchases of $50. And that means, let's say Bitcoin's quite high today. If it's going to dip, we're going to get the average across the different purchases. You can also set up weekly, 1st and 15th of the month, or monthly. So you can queue it up with your paycheck or whatever system you want to do. Today, we're going to keep it super simple. We are going to do a one-time purchase. We're going to put all our $5,000 in. Now, Bitcoin is trading at $69,479, which is pretty much an all-time high, but it is what it is. Anything to show our audience how it's done. And the other thing to keep in mind, if you're taking a long-term view with crypto, which you should be doing, over 4 to 5 years, most of the cases, it's not going to matter when you actually purchased your crypto. If you have a long-term time frame, the longer you have it, the better you're generally going to do. The worst thing you can do is purchase it and then be refreshing your balance and checking the 1 hour fluctuations and what your portfolio has done if it's going up and down. So remember long-term views. All right, so we put in our $5,000 of Bitcoin. We can preview what this is going to be. You can see up here just how much Bitcoin we're going to be getting. Now, all we have to do now is come down here and click buy now. That's going to take a few seconds to load, and our order was submitted, and we'll get an email once it's done. All right, guys, so that $5,000 purchase went through. To make sure that it was successful, we go across to our assets. I have some other things in here, but we can scroll down, and this is in US dollars. So that's our 5,000 Australian dollars in US dollars, and we can see our Bitcoin here. So congratulations, you have gone and successfully purchased your first cryptocurrency. Well done. Now we have successfully purchased our cryptocurrency, but there is one more layer of precaution that I would recommend. One thing that makes Bitcoin and cryptocurrency great is its decentralization. However, decentralization is a double-edged sword. Let's say for whatever reason your Coinbase account got hacked or Coinbase went down for some reason. Now, of course, Coinbase is, in my opinion, probably the most safe exchange, but the chances are never zero. If anything like that were to happen, Bitcoin is decentralized, so if you lose your Bitcoin or your cryptocurrency, they don't have a support helpline and no one will be able to help you. So I recommend an extra layer of precaution. You may have heard the phrase in crypto, not your keys, not your coins. This is one of the most common sayings in crypto, and it's referring to cold storage. Cold storage is when you store your crypto not online and not on an exchange, but in a wallet that is not connected to the internet. Since cold wallets don't connect to the internet, they are immune to online threats. It gives you full control over your own money and it adds a layer of precaution, so I would definitely recommend it. There are a ton of different options for cold wallets, however personally I use the Nano Ledger X. Ledger are the most popular cold wallets, and in my opinion it's the most user-friendly and best for beginners to store their crypto. Now, I'm currently traveling, so I don't actually have my cold wallet with me. However, all I do need to know is the wallet address so I can send my crypto from Coinbase to the cold wallet. If you do want to get a cold wallet to add an extra layer of precaution to storing your crypto, I'll leave the link to Ledger Nano X, the one that I personally use, in the description below. Now, let's jump back into Coinbase and I'll show you how to send the Bitcoin that you just bought to your cold wallet. Alright guys, so we're back into my Coinbase account on the home page. So what we're going to do to send the Bitcoin that we just bought to my cold wallet, we're going to go across to my assets. Here's the Bitcoin that we just bought down here, the 5,000 Australian, which is 3,200 USD. And what we're going to do to send it across, you're going to hit these three buttons here and you'll be able to see that we can send our crypto. If you ever want to receive crypto, if you want to send it from another wallet or you want a friend to do it, you get your receiving address down here, but we'll save that for another video. So to send our Bitcoin to our cold wallet, we're going to click send. So this is how we send our Bitcoin. Now we want to send all of our Bitcoin across to our cold wallet. So we're going to press max here. So that's sending all of our Bitcoin across. Now we're going to put in our wallet address. So I've already copied my Ledger Nano X wallet address from the Ledger app. So it's already in my copy and paste. So we're going to click here, paste that in. Make sure to always copy and paste and don't actually type it in yourself, because if you get one of these wrong and you send it to the wrong address, you cannot get it back. So make sure to always copy and paste. Another tip that I'm not going to show you because I've done it so many times, but beginners should always do, is you should send a small test amount of money to your wallet address and make sure that it comes across so you know you've done it right. Let's say you're sending $5,000 of Bitcoin across. Maybe you test it with $50. Make sure it gets into your wallet before you actually send the full amount, just to be sure. It's a good thing to always do, but I've done it so many times that I'm comfortable with just sending the full amount now. So we're going to do the max amount. We're going to select recipient and we're going to paste in our Nano Ledger X wallet address. Select it here. Go max amount. So that's sending all of our Bitcoin. Preview it. Make sure to double check. This wallet address is extremely important that you get it right. Make sure it's on the Bitcoin network. Network fee, $1.46, which is pretty good actually for the Bitcoin network for sending so much. And it's going to take about 30 minutes. So once you send it and you don't see it appear for the first 10 or 20 minutes, don't freak out. All right, now we'll send it now. Generally, it's going to pop up with an authenticator code. So I'm going to grab that code right now. We're going to punch in that code. Sending. And boom, we've sent our Bitcoin across. Now, that's going to take 20 to 30 minutes, so don't freak out in 10 to 15 minutes if it hasn't come. Refresh it after about 30 minutes and you'll see it pop up into your account. So, congratulations. If you followed all these steps, you've purchased your crypto and you've secured it offline in a cold wallet, you're pretty much a crypto pro. Last but not least, ladies and gents, I want to share some personal tips that will help you along in your crypto journey. I've had a lot of experience over the last 7 years in crypto, and I've made pretty much every single mistake in the book. However, I've also been able to achieve financial freedom and I'll never have to work a 9-to-5 again, all because of the crypto space. Along the way, I've learned a lot of lessons, so here are 4 tips that I wish someone had given me when I had first started. Tip number 1 is the importance of patience. It's crucial to realize that bull markets in crypto seem to come around every 3 to 4 years. Although Bitcoin and crypto can seem super volatile and scary on a short time frame, if you zoom out and have a time frame of 5 to 10 years, years, I believe that you'll find massive success. The absolute worst thing you can do in the crypto space is put in your money and be checking your investments every few minutes, be looking at the charts all the time and freaking out every time it drops a few dollars. The crypto space is inherently volatile, and trust me, there will be tons of ups and downs. However, always zoom out and recognize the trend and know that on a long enough time span, you'll be okay. Always remember to have a long-term time horizon. Tip number 2 is that time in the market 99% of the time beats timing the market. This means you should try and buy early and forget about it. After buying, you might even consider uninstalling your crypto app so you're not tempted to be checking prices every few minutes and refreshing your app to see your balance going up and down. Selling out or being shaken out of your crypto positions because prices are falling is a super common beginner mistake. I've made that mistake, all of my friends have made that mistake, so it's important that you come up with a plan, have a strategy, and make sure that you stick to that strategy and have a long-term time horizon. Tip number 3 is a return to my earlier portfolio recommendation where you keep 70 to 90% of your core portfolio in the big crypto assets, so Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, and then use a minority part of your portfolio, so 10 to 30%, to gamble or speculate on smaller altcoins. Many newcomers to the space are drawn to the allure of smaller cap altcoins, NFTs, or meme coins, and so invest the majority of their portfolio into these projects or coins. This is generally a really bad idea, and most of the time with most tokens and most altcoins, you'll not only underperform the big players, but in some cases, you'll just lose all your money. You will inevitably hear about a story about some guy that invested $1,000 into a frog token and made 1,000x his money. He made $1 million. He retired himself. But keep in mind, this is essentially gambling, and for every one success story you hear, there are thousands, if not tens of thousands of stories people who either underperformed or just completely lost their money. It's no different from hearing a story about a guy that went to Vegas and won the jackpot after investing $10 and he made $1 million. For every one person that makes it, there's thousands and thousands of people that don't. So make sure to keep the majority of your portfolio into the big names like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then use the smaller portion of your portfolio to speculate or gamble on projects that you think are promising. By having this approach, you'll still be able to capture the lion's share of the moves up in the crypto market with your core holdings of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the larger names, but you'll also be able to satisfy that small degen part of you that wants to invest in the meme coins and the altcoins, but it'll only be a minority of your portfolio. Tip number 4 is that something you'll learn in the crypto space is that it's easy to make money, but it's hard to keep it. One of the hardest skills that you will have to develop is knowing when to sell out and take chips off the table once you've actually made some money. At some points, your judgment will likely be clouded by euphoria and greed, and you'll probably take too much risk than you need to. You'll think that we're entering a new paradigm and that prices are just going to keep going up and you're just going to keep getting richer and richer. Keep in mind and remember that there will always be cycles. Prices will go up and prices will come down. If you ever succeed in your original game plan or strategy, make sure to take chips off the table, or if you're ever able to meaningfully change your life, make sure to take some profits. Anyway guys, I hope today's video was able to help you out. We poured a ton of time, effort, and tried to put as much value into it as possible. If you did find any value in the video, it would be greatly appreciated if you either subscribe to the channel, like the video, or if you hit the third link in the description, you can sign up to our daily crypto email. It will help you become a better crypto investor, and it's completely free. Anyway guys, thank you all so much for watching. Best of luck from afar. I know you've got this, and as always, all the best.